Good morning, all. Join the session. Ask your friends to join the session. Ask your friends to join the session. Your classmates.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. All of you ready?
Sir?
Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay.
Swaroop?
Only 7. It is showing participants only 7.
Yes, sir. Yes. Remaining వాళ్ళు యాడ్ అవుతున్నారు.
Add అవుతారా?
ఒక 5 minutes సార్ యాడ్ అయిపోతున్నారు.
చెప్పండి. ఓకే నో ప్రాబ్లం.
స్వరూప్
చెప్పండి మ్యామ్.
బాయ్స్ రిమైనింగ్ ఏరమ్మా అందరికి ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేశాను కదా 9
ఎస్ మ్యామ్. ఇంకా
ఫాస్ట్ గా మీరు యాప్లో పోస్ట్ చేయి, అందరికి ఫాస్ట్ గా జాయిన్ చెప్పు. సుభాష్.
సరే మ్యామ్. సరే
సుభాష్
మ్యామ్ చెప్పండి.
నువ్వు కూడా రిమైనింగ్ అందరికి ఫాస్ట్ గా ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేయి. జస్ట్ 5 minutes అందరూ యాడ్ అవ్వాలని చెప్పు. మొత్తం అటెండెన్స్ నేను
ఓకే మ్యామ్.
అందరి అటెండెన్స్ నోట్ చేసుకుంటాను.
ఓకే మ్యామ్.
సార్ జస్ట్ 5 minutes సార్, అందరూ యాడ్ అయిపోతారు.
ఓకే.
గీతా మేడం. గీత
మేడం
కలిసి ఎంతమంది జాయిన్ అయ్యారమ్మా? రిమైనింగ్ కూడా జాయిన్ అవ్వమని చెప్పి ఫాస్ట్ గా
కాల్ చేసిన మేడం
అటెండెన్స్
చాలా
తీసుకో
మంది.
గీత.
ఓకే మేడం.
ఫాస్ట్ జాయిన్ అవ్వమ్మా.
Girls, anyone there in meeting?
Ask your friends to join the session, okay? Quickly. It is 10, no, 10:15. It is showing participants 18. What happened? Can anyone respond? పిల్లలు రాలేదు. పిల్లలు 18 మెంబర్స్ ఉన్నట్టున్నారు. 18 చూపిస్తుంది. అరౌండ్ 50-60 ఉండాలి. 50 ఉండాలి మినిమం. ఇవాళ వర్షం ఉందని హాలిడే ఇచ్చినట్టున్నారు. వర్షం ఏం లేదు కదా. వర్షం ఉందని హాలిడే ఇచ్చినట్టున్నారు వాళ్ళకి. స్వరూప్ మిగతా వాళ్ళు వచ్చారా?
యాప్ అని ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తున్నారు సార్. యాప్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తున్నారు సార్ కొంతమంది.
అయ్యో, ఆల్రెడీ లేదా అంతకుముందు?
ముందు లేదు సార్.
రెగ్యులర్ యూజ్ చేస్తారేమో అని అనుకున్నాను. ఎంతసేపు పడుతుంది? ఒక 5 మినిట్సా?
5 minutes పడుతుంది సార్.
సరే సరే, కాస్త తొందర కానివ్వమని చెప్పు. రెడీ అవ్వమని చెప్పు. ఏంటది బ్రేక్ఫాస్టా చేసిన అదో కిందికి వచ్చేసా అదే ఇక్కడే అరేంజ్ చేశారు సిస్టంలో ఆన్లైన్ అదే పిల్లలు జాయిన్ అవ్వట్లేదు ఇంకా 25 మెంబర్స్ వచ్చి నాదా సార్ స్వరూప్
సార్ సార్ చెప్పండి.
వస్తున్నారా
హలో
ఆ,
వస్తున్నారు సార్. 1 by 1
ఆ.
జాయిన్ వస్తారు.
స్వరూప్ బాయ్స్ అటెండెన్స్ నోట్ చెయ్యి.
సరే మ్యామ్ సరే.
మార్నింగ్ 9 కి ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేసాం కదా సార్ కదరా, ఇప్పటి వరకు ఏం చేస్తున్నారా అందరూ?
చూడండి అప్పుడు ఫోన్ చేసి అడిగితే ఇప్పుడే యాప్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తున్నా అంటున్నారు మేడం.
సరే
యాప్
ఇంకా
ఉంటుంది
10:30.
యాప్ ఉంటుంది కదా స్వరూప్ అందరి దగ్గర
అందరి దగ్గర లేదు సార్.
రెగ్యులర్ గా యూజ్ చేస్తారు కదా ఆ,
సార్ నవ్వని డౌన్లోడ్ సార్ నంబర్స్.
ఓకే ఓకే
హలో స్వరూప్.
హలో
స్వరూప్ అది కొంతమంది డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తున్నారు
చెప్పు.
యాప్ని. కొంతమంది డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తున్నారు యాప్ని.
సరే సరే
కొంచెం లేట్ అవుతుంటున్నారు
బే
కొంతమంది.
డౌన్లోడ్ చేయమను.
సరే
ఆ,
5 minutes లో స్టార్ట్
సరే
చేద్దాం మీతో రమ్మని చెప్పండి లైన్ లో త్వరగా
ఓకే సార్.
సరే సార్.
ఓకే సార్.
సరే సార్ సరే.
జస్ట్ ఒక 2 minutes స్టార్ట్ చేసేద్దాం. స్వరూప్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దామా? స్వరూప్ స్వరూప్ ఆర్ యు దేర్?
ఎస్ సార్, ఎస్ సార్.
స్టార్ట్ చేద్దామా? 10:30 అవుతుంది.
సరే సార్, స్టార్ట్ చేసాను సార్. స్టార్ట్ చేశాను సార్. మీరు
సరే చేద్దామా?
ఎస్ సార్, ఎస్.
ఓకే ఓకే. Okay. Okay. Today we'll start the session with the polymorphism. Is my voice audible?
ఎస్ సార్, ఎస్.
Okay. So what is polymorphism? Poly means many, and morphism means many forms, right? And which is a Greek word. So if something exhibits various forms, it is called polymorphism, right? Okay. For example, simple example in our day-to-day life. Okay, we assume a wheat flour is there. Wheat flour can be converted into in the other forms, burgers, rotis, loaves, bread, or something like that, right? Okay. Can anyone, all of you note down the definition? This polymorphism is a word, okay, where poly means many and morphos means forms, and it exhibits various forms. If something exhibits various forms, it is called polymorphism, right? Okay. And when you see the different types of polymorphism concepts, Python has built-in polymorphism, right? Where the first one is the basic. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Is my okay, yeah, please. Okay. The general one is that duck. It is called duck typing philosophy of Python, and the second one is operator overloading. Third one is method overloading, and fourth one is method overriding. Okay, these are the different types of polymorphism, and all these are built-in concepts, built-in polymorphism concepts in Python. Okay, Just note down this 4. All of you note down, just make a note of it. Ductile philosophy of Python. Second one, operator overloading. Third one is method overloading. And fourth one is method overriding. Okay, same as usual. Whatever is there, whatever the procedure we have followed in class, just follow the same thing. Note down those programs, example programs, very important, definitions, syntax, and example. Right? Okay, first we'll see the duct typing philosophy of Python. So we know that in Python, the data type of variable is not explicitly declared, right? In general, in C language or Java language, okay, in the beginning, when we declare variables, okay, we must declare what is the type of each and every variable, right? Whether it is an integer or float or character or double or long double or whatever it may be, string type or whatever it may be, right? But in Python, we never explicitly declare the what type of variable it is, right? This does not mean that Python variables do not have a type, okay? And every variable or object in Python has a type, and the type is implicitly assigned depending on the purpose for which the variable is used. Okay, the runtime system of Python language automatically converts, assumes that, okay, what type of data is provided by the user, whether it is integer or float or character or string or whatever it may be. Okay, just note on this. Every variable or object in Python has a type, and the type is implicitly assigned depending on the purpose for which the variable is used. Just note on this line. Every variable or object Python has, and the type is implicitly assigned depending on the purpose for which the variable is used. If you provide integer values, it automatically assumes that it is an integer type. If it is float, when we provide float value, the runtime system will automatically assumes, okay, it is float type, like that. Okay. Have you noted down this? Every variable or object let's see one example. Okay, just see this example. Just x is assigned with the value 5 and print type x, and what it will print, class integer is there. Okay, just see this one. When we write a simple statement, x is initialized with 5. Okay, store integer into x. We are trying to store integer into x, and we are saying just type of x. What type of data? Okay, we have provided print type of x, display the type of x. Okay, it will display class integer. Its type is integer. The output is displaying integer. Okay, the type is a function. Okay, to know what type of data we have provided, the user is provided, right? And the next one example, x is initialized with hello. The string is there. We are trying to store the string into the variable x, and just we are saying print type of x. It will print class str. Okay, that means whatever the string we have provided, that is hello, that is of type string type, right? Okay, someone is drawing line. Okay, don't use. Just note on this one, x equal to 5, print type of x, and it will print class integer. The whatever the value we have provided, its type is integer. And the second statement is x is initialized to hello, string with hello, and it is providing, it is giving the answer string. It is giving the output string, str type, string type, right? Okay. And note on one point, Python variables are names. Python variables are names or tags that points to memory locations where the data is stored. They are not worried about which data we are going to store. Okay, whatever the data we store automatically recognizes whether it is integer or float or character or string or whatever it may be, right? And finally, we can say Python's type system is dynamic. Okay, since the type of variable is not explicitly declared by the developer or the user. Okay, whenever we write a program, we are not declaring what is the type of the variable is. Okay, dynamically assumes the runtime system of Python language. Okay, what type of data the user has provided, right? Next important thing is operator overloading. Next heading, operator overloading. Just note down this one. Operator overloading. So what do you mean by, in previous class also we have discussed about overriding concept, right? The same thing is available in, same feature is available in Python, Java programming language also, right? So have you noted down this operator overloading heading, right? So we know that an operator is a symbol that performs some action, right? For example, if someone is trying Anil, what happened? Anil is drawing some line. Okay, don't use that. Just listen. Just note down the headings. Okay, what are the procedure we have followed in classroom? Follow the same. Just note down the headings, definitions, syntax, and example program. Very important. Okay. So operator overloading, just note down the definition. When we know that an operator is a symbol that performs some action. For example, when we consider a plus symbol, okay, which is used for to perform the mathematical addition operation. For example, plus is an operator that performs addition operation when used on numbers. Okay. So what is that other way where we can use the plus symbol? Can anyone answer in Python? Can anyone answer? In strings also, can we use the plus? When we attach a string, concatenate string, okay, two strings are there. When we want to concatenate, attach the second string at the end of first string also, we use the plus symbol, right? Okay, just note on this. When an operator can perform different actions, okay, this definition, when an operator can perform different actions, it is said to exhibit polymorphism, right? Okay, let us see one example. All of you note down the example. A Python program to use addition operator, that is plus symbol, plus operator, to act on different types of objects, right? Okay. Comment is there, overloading the plus operator. How to use the plus operator in many forms. Okay, we can use for addition, normal addition, we can use it for anything. Okay, perform the addition, we can perform the string concatenation, we can perform the attach, okay, adding two lists also, right? Okay, for example, if I say using plus on integers to add two items, print 10 plus 15, right? It will print, that is 10 plus 15, addition operation, that is 25. In the second part, okay, using plus on strings, we can use the plus operator on strings also to concatenate them. So what do you mean by concatenate? Attaching the second string at the end of the first string, right? For example, S1 is initialized with red and S2 is initialized with 4th, is there? A simple statement, print S1 plus S2, right? That is finally what is the output we'll get? Red 4th, we'll get the value red 4th. And the third third statement, okay, that is using plus symbol on list. We can use list also, plus symbol on list also, to make a single list. Okay. Okay, we have the first list is A. A with the 3 values are there, 3 items are there. B with the 3 items are there, 3 values are there. We want to add these two lists to make a one single list. Just write print A plus B. Here also we use the plus symbol. Okay, finally we'll get the single list which contains 6 elements, right? 10, 20, 30, 5, 15, and minus 10. So what we can understand from this example is that, okay, here we have used only the one operator, right? That is plus operator, where we have used plus for addition, and we have used plus for concatenation of strings, and we have used the plus symbol to add two strings, two lists of items, okay, to generate a single list, right? Are you noting down the program? Swaroop?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just note down the program. Okay. Operator overloading. That means a single operator, okay, which can be performed by using that operator. We can perform operations, different operations, many forms. Okay, that is one is addition, second one is concatenation of strings, and next one is that, okay, attaching or adding two lists and generating a single list, right? And in this way, if any operator, just note down this one, in this way, if any operator performs additional actions other than what is meant for, means generally plus is used for addition, right? Okay, here in this example, we have seen concatenation of string, we have used plus, and adding two lists, combining two lists, we have used the plus symbol also, plus operator also, right? Additional actions other than what is it means for, it is called operator overloading, right? And you can say operator overloading is an example of polymorphism. Okay, is it okay? Operator overloading.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And note on another example, Python program to use addition operator, add the contents of two objects. How we can add two different objects, right? Here using plus operator on objects, right? Okay, we have created a class book X, and we have init method is that define underscore init underscore self and pages. Second parameter is pages, and pages is assigned with self.pages. Some noise is coming. All of you shut, close that audio and video from your side. All of you stop your audio and video from your side, right? Naveen, I think voice is getting from Naveen. Okay, just note on this one, class book X and init method, and we have pages is there, and next one class book Y, again init method self comma pages is assigned to self, and we are passing parameter, right? Creating object B1 is an object of type book X, and B2 is an object of type book Y class. B1 is an object of type book X, and we are passing parameter of 100, and B2 is an object, we have created an object from the class book Y of type book Y class, right? And one single statement is a print total pages B1 and B2, right? So what we are doing here, B1 is an object and B2 is an object, right? We are adding two objects, right? Two objects here. We are adding two objects. What are the values of those objects of B1 and B2? Okay, we are trying to add that one. So what we'll get? Okay, trace back. We are getting some error. Total pages that is B1 plus B2. So what it is saying? Okay, here we are using plus operator to add the objects directly. We cannot do that one, right? That's why we have error. Unsupported operand types, that is plus book X, Y, book X and book Y. Okay, so how can write this one, convert this one? Just see this. Here we'll get an error. Directly we cannot add two objects like that. Okay. Now just put on Python program to overload the addition operator to make it an actor and class objects. Right? The same program. Look at this. Class book X and init method is the same. In this class X, we have added this return statement is there, add function, define add function, and return statement is there, self pages, self dot pages plus other dot pages. Okay. We have return statement, same as usual, book Y, init function, and pages is as usual. Just we have added the add function in book X. Remaining are same. B1 is an object and B2 is an object. Where we are providing the passing the values, that is 100 and 150, right? And we are performing B1 plus B2. Finally, we'll get the output, that is total pages 100 plus 50, 250. In previous example, we don't have that function in book X, the method. Okay, all of you note down this program. Are you noting down the program? Okay, Python program to overload the addition operator to make it act on class objects. How to add two objects? Okay. It's holding some values, right? That is one is 100 and the other one is 50. Right? Please go to the program regarding operator overload. What is another way to use the addition operator plus? By using object, right? Here the program is overloading plus operator to act on objects. How to use objects? All of you noted the program? Taruni.
Yes.
Taruni is drawing some line. Is it visible? Okay. In previous example, we have seen how we can use the plus operator, addition operator. One is for addition, the other one is for concatenation of two strings, and the other we have used for concatenation and list, joining two lists of items. Okay, this is the second example. When it comes to operator overloading, a Python program to overload the addition operator, that is plus symbol to make it act on objects. Okay, in book X, we have created a method, add method. It contains only one return statement is there, self dot pages plus other dot pages. Now we can add the B1 and B2. That is 100 plus 50. B1 is an object of type book X class. B2 is an object of type book Y class. And this is the output we'll get, right? That is when we execute this one, total pages, that is 100 plus 50, 250. And we have the operators and corresponding methods, that is plus we can use object dot add for minus, object dot subtraction, star, that is object dot multiplication division, 2 double slash, that is 4 division operation, and percentage, that is modulus, 2 stars, that is power, and plus equal to I add, minus equal to, that is I subtract, star equal to, that is I multiplication, I division, I floor division, and I modulus, I power, right? These are the operators we can use for operator overloading. Okay, I will see another example, a Python program to overload greater than operator. Okay, how many ways you can use the greater than operator? Okay, in operator overloading concept to make it the class object, right? As usual, for example, class Ramayan, and as usual, init method is there. Okay, yesterday we have discussed. In most of the programs, we use the same methods, same statements are there. Okay, just we need to add one or two additional statements based on our purpose, the problem. And define some GT method, that is self and other. Okay, the same operation. In previous example, we have performed the addition, return of two objects, self dot something. In this self dot pages, which is greater than other pages, for example. And the second class, for example, class Mahabharat, init method, and pages is assigned to self dot pages, right? And B1 is an object of type Ramayan class. B2 is an object of type Mahabharat class. Okay, which has parameter value that is 1000 and 1500 is there, right? If B1 is greater than B2, then we can print Ramayana has more pages, else Mahabharat has more pages, right? For example, B1 is greater than B2, that is 1000 is greater than the statement is 1000 is greater than 1500. It is false. False means the else part will be executed, right? Then Mahabharat has more pages. Finish?
Right, sir.
Someone respond just why after noting the program, whether it is completed or not. Same previous program, same as this, right? But just we have used here, we have which operator we have overloaded, that is greater than operator we have overloaded. The first example is the best example to understand operator overloading, that is plus operator, uses of plus operator for addition, and for the plus is used for addition, the plus is used for string concatenation, and plus operator is used for a list, combining two different lists. Right? Just I'm moving. This is also the same example. All statements are same. Just we have used the multiplication operator, right? Okay, we want to calculate the salary of a person. How many days the person has attended, and what is the salary per day, right? Employee, class employee, init method. Name is assigned to self dot name. Salary is assigned to self dot salary, and multiplication. Same statement, same type of statement. Self others, just return statement. This multiplication method has only one return statement is there. That is self dot salary into other dot days, and attendance. How many number of days the person has attended the office. Same as usual, X1 with employee, name, and per day, and X2, that is attendance, name, and how many number of days attended, and salary. Finally, this month's salary is X1 into X2. Just remember, X1 is an object and X2 is an object. Okay, not a variable, not a general variable. Yes, we are trying to multiply. Okay, in another way, operator overloaded, in different way. Finish?
No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, yeah. We'll move to the next one. Next one
Sir,
is
1 minute.
method overloading. Just put heading method overloading. Method overload. The previous topic is operator overloading. Right? Just write down the definition. If a method is written such that it can perform more than one task, the same method, the same name, but it performs different tasks. Then it is called method overloading, right? We see the method overloading concepts in languages like Java also, right? The same concepts. I will just note down the definition. If a method, the heading is method overloading, and the definition is if a method is written such that it can perform more than one task. That means the same method, okay, with the name is same method with different parameters. If a method is written such that it can perform more than one task, it is called method overloading, right? For example, just note down this statement. We call a method, for example, sum with the parameters 10, 15. This is one call. Then the second one is sum with the 10, 15, 20, right? The same method is there. The method is sum method, but with in first method calling a method, we have two parameters. In the second call, we have three parameters are there, right? In the first call, we are passing two arguments. In the second call, we are passing three arguments. That means the sum method is performing two distinct operations. That is finding the sum of two numbers. The second one is the finding the sum of three numbers. This is called method overloading, right? In Java also, we can achieve this with the different parameters. These two second statements are related to Java statements, Java programming. Sum with parameters int a, int b. Okay. And next statement is sum int a, int b, int c. Okay, and remember one thing, method overloading is actually not available in Python, but we can use the methods in different forms. Writing more than one method with the same name is not possible in Python. So we can achieve method overloading by writing the same method with several parameters. Okay, this note on this point. Purely method overloading concept is not available. Okay, writing more than one method with the same name is not possible in Python. So we can achieve method overloading by writing the same method, okay, with several parameters. This concept is treated as method overloading. The method performs the operation depending on the number of arguments passed in the method call. For example, we can write a sum method with the default value none for the arguments as. Have you noted down this one point? We can achieve in Python, right? You can write in Python, we can achieve method overloading by writing same method with the several parameters. The method performs the operation depending on the number of arguments passed in the method. This is the example, same example. Sum with the 10, 15, sum with 10, 15, 20. The same method name, but with the different parameters, different operations. We can think that we can assume the runtime system of Python assumes that the first one is one method, the second one is another method with the different parameters. That these two statements are related to Java programming language. Okay, all of you note down this example, method overloading. A Python program to show method overloading to find sum of two or three numbers. Sum of two or three numbers. Are you noting now?
Yes, sir.
Someone respond, right? Method overloading. The program name, method overloading. Just note down the program. class my class, define sum, the function that is self, and the 4 parameters are there: A with none, initialize value B with none, and C with none, right? In this we have if statement is there, if else statement. If A is not equal to none and B is not equal to none and C is not equal to none, then print, perform this operation. Just simple, that is perform addition of A plus B plus C, sum of 3. If A is not equal to none and B is not equal to none and C is not equal to none, perform the A plus B plus C and print it. Else if, okay, this is else if A is not equal to, okay, this is for 3 parameters, this is for 2 parameters. This one is for 3 parameters, this one is for 2 parameters. Else if, elif, that is A is not equal to none and B is not equal to none. Just printf, perform the A plus B. Else what to do? Please enter 2 or 3 arguments minimum. Just we are displaying a message. We are performing only addition of 2 numbers or 3 numbers by using function. Method overloading. Now we'll call the sum function. Create first. Before calling a method, we must create object. Okay, that is as usual procedure. Whatever it is there, if you want to access anything, then we must take the reference of object reference most of the time. Okay, very rarely we use the class name reference, object name reference. For that, we need to create an object. Okay, this is M. M is an object created from the my class type. M is an object of type my class. Then pass the parameters. M dot sum with the 3 parameters, M dot sum with the 2 parameters, and M dot sum with the 1 parameter. Right? The first call is with the 3 parameters 10, 15, 20. The second function call, method call with 2 parameters 10.5, 25.5, 55. And the third call is with a single parameter 100, 100. But we don't have any addition of a single number, single digit. Okay, when this is called M dot sum with 10, 15, 20, the first statement, first if statement will be executed. That is A is not equal to none, B none, and C is not equal to none. That is A plus B plus C. That is 10 plus 15 plus 20, 45. Right? Again, the second method call, M dot sum with the 2 parameters 10.5 and 25.5. Okay, this control transfers from this place to this else part. The same if statement, 3 is not there, next to 2, else if A is not equal to none and 2, now B is not equal to none, then perform this one. This statement is selected for the second call. For the first call, function method call, the first one, A plus B plus C will be executed. For the second call, the second one, the second statement, else part will be executed, A plus B. The first one will not be executed because here we have 3 statements. 3 values are the variables are. And when it comes to third call, third function call, method call is there with only 1 parameter. But in our statement, in our function, sum function, we do not have a single variable, right? That is the third part, else part is there. Okay, 3 is not there, only single variable is there. 3 variables here, 2 variables, and the remaining else part is that it will print the message, please enter 2 or 3 arguments. Only 1 argument will not be considered. Here 100 is only 1 argument will not be considered. That's why this message will be printed. Please enter 2 or 3 arguments. The first call with 3 arguments, that means A plus B plus C will be executed. The second argument with 2 parameters, that is A plus B is executed, sum of 2. The previous one is sum of 3. Right? This is a simple example for method overloading. The same method, that is sum. How the methods are overloaded? Okay, with different parameters. The first method with 3 parameters, second method with 2 parameters, the third call, function call with a single parameter. Have you noted down?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
complete
sir.
that. And output also,
Yes, sir.
sum of 3, that is 45, sum of 2. Simple example, okay, nothing is there, right? Just create a class and we have defined a function. In that function, if else statement is there. If 3 parameters are there, you perform a plus b plus c. If 2 parameters are there, else part, that is else if. That is a is not equal to none and b is not equal to none. 2 parameters are there, then perform the a plus b. And else part means only one parameter or more than one is there. Then please enter only 2 or 3 arguments. Just we are printing the message. Okay, these 3 statements we treat it as m with 10, 15, 20, m with 10.5, 25.5, and m with 100, sum with 100. 3 function calls are there. 3 are treated as method overloading. The same method, sum, here also sum, here also sum. 3 times it is loaded, right? 1 time, second time, and third time, but with 3 different parameters. Okay. Next, we'll move on to method overriding. Put heading. All of you note down the heading, method overriding. In yesterday's session, we have discussed about overriding, that is constructor overriding. Okay, please note down the heading, method overriding. We already discussed the constructor overriding and method overriding under inheritance section. When there is a method in superclass, writing the same method in the subclass so that it replaces the superclass method is called method overriding. Just note down this definition. When there is a method in the superclass and writing the same method in the subclass so that it replaces the superclass method is called method overriding. So when should we use the concept of method overriding? For example, when we want a new functionality to the same method in the subclass. In that case, we can use method overriding. Okay, that means we have superclasses there. A superclass, we have one method, and we have subclasses there. In that also we have some method. The same method is there, but the purpose is different. The names are same. The method name is same. The purpose is different. In that case, we can create a new functionality in this subclass. In this way, we can override from the subclass. Whatever the method available in subclass is there, that will override the method in superclass. Okay, the subclass method is trying to override the method in superclass. This is the idea of method overriding. Just note down the definition. When there is a method in superclass, writing the same method in the subclass so that it replaces the superclass method is called method overriding. So when should we use the concept of method overriding? That is, the programmer overrides the superclass methods when we does not want to use them in the subclass. Instead, we want a new functionality to the same method in the subclass. Okay, these topics are very important. Operator overloading, method overriding, method overloading. And remember, in inheritance, if we create superclass object or instance, we can access all the members of superclass, but not the members of the subclass, right? If you create subclass object, then both the superclass and subclass members are available, since the subclass object contains a copy of the superclass. That means whatever the methods, whatever the objects we have in superclass is there, we can access all of them in subclass. In addition to the subclass methods, objects are instances. And what are the methods and objects of superclass is there? All those are the copies, not the original data, only the copy, right? Remember that. That point is very important, right? But if you create subclass objects, then both the superclass and subclass members are available, since the subclass object contains a copy of the superclass. Okay, all of you note down the program. A program, Python program to override the superclass method in the subclass. Superclass, a method is there in superclass, the same method is there in subclass also. That subclass method overrides the superclass method. Method overriding. Import math. Okay. Here we are importing a math package. We want to use the predefined function of math package. That is pi value is the math.py. Here we have used that one, math.py. Import math, and we have created a class, that is class square. Same example we have seen in yesterday's class also, right? Square and rectangle, circular rectangle. Class square, define area, self comma x, and just print square area is equal to x into x. Area of a square, that is x into x, we all know that one. And create a second class, that is class circle of square. That means we are creating a new class, that is circle, from the base class square. The superclass is, the square is a superclass, circle is the subclass. Right? Square is the superclass, and remember circle is the subclass. So class circle of square, that means circle is the subclass of this square superclass. Again, just same function area. Here also we are defining a function area. Here also we are defining a function area, self comma x, and the equation is that math.py, pi r square. Generally use the equation. Area of a circle is pi r square. Pi into x into x. For this purpose, math.py, we have used we try to import the math package, import to math. Okay, once we have created a superclass and subclass, where is a superclass, circle is a subclass, just create an object as usual. C is an object of type circle class. C is an object of type circle class, and call the method with parameter. C dot area with parameter 15. In what way it is overriding concept here? Okay, in subclass we have area method is there. In superclass also we have area method is there. Okay, with the same methods, two methods with same name, but their parameters are different. Okay, that means the subclass method is overriding the superclass method area. Now it will print area, means the control transfers from at this point to the subclass method, the recent one, not the superclass. The control is not transferring to superclass. The control is transferring to the subclass or derived class, that is circle of square. In that we have only one expression is there, math.py into x into x. That is pi value, pi into 15 into 15. Total it is 706.8583. Calling the area method using circle class, object will execute circle class area method. Have you noted down? Can anyone respond?
Yes,
Program
sir.
note chestunara?
Sir.
Very important topics: overloading, overriding, okay, operator overloading. Right? Simple program. Create two classes with the same method, same function, area. A square class with the area method, area function, then circle class with the area function. Both methods are same, functions are same. That means the subclass area method is overriding. Remember this point. Subclass area method is overriding superclass area method. Okay. Write simple statement, create a class and create a function. Create a superclass, then create a subclass with same function, area function, and calculation, some equation. Then create an object of the base class. Circle is a base class, right? Not base class, derived class. Square is in superclass, circle is in base, derived class. In other way, we can say area is in parent class, circle is a child class. C, create an object C with circle, call this one, and the C dot area with parameter 50. Okay, the control transfers from this point to circle class only, not the square class. Remember that, recent one. And in the circle, we have area method is there, area function is there. In that, we have only one expression, that is pi into x into x. That is pi value 3.14 into 15 into 15. Okay. With this overloading, overriding completed. Next, we'll move to exception handling mechanism as per our syllabus. Exceptions. Next one is the, okay, all of you note down the heading, exceptions. The heading is exceptions, exception handling in Python. Can anyone give the answer? What is an exception? As per your experience, knowledge in Java programming language, also we have exception handling mechanism. Can anyone? You can chat also, give the answer by typing. Swaroop?
Yes, sir.
What is an exception? Can anyone answer? Whatever we have learned in Java is there, the same concept. Okay, we all know that error is there. Errors or bugs are there in a program. If error is there, we call it as bug. Bug removal means debugging. Then what is the idea of exception?
Yes.
Runtime error, sir.
It is an runtime error, right? Yes, someone said correctly. What is that one? Runtime error? Yes,
sir.
it is runtime error. Yes. So we know that compile time error, runtime error, and logical errors are there. Okay, first of all, we'll discuss about the errors in a Python program, right? Just note down this, errors in Python program. In general, we can classify errors in a program into one of these three categories, three types. The first one is compile time error. The second one is runtime error. The third one is that logical errors. So what do you mean by compile time error? We all know that one. Okay, when we write a program, after writing the program, okay, we used to compile the program. Okay, compile the program means, what do you mean by compilation? At the time of compilation, okay, the compiler will check each and every statement of the program. The compiler will check each and every statement of the program. That is, whether each and every statement or programming instruction is as per the syntax, as per the procedure, as per the grammar, as per the rule, yes or no. Okay, if that statement is not as per the syntax, then the compiler will automatically generate an error, right? It is called compile time error, right? And second one, okay, we'll move to the third, that is logical error is there. What do you mean by logical error? Okay, for example, we want to perform the addition of two numbers. Addition of, for example, some 10 plus 15 is there. In that equation, some different operator we have used. We forgot to use the plus operator. We have placed some other operator is there, right? At the time of calculation or whatever the expression is there, the expression is wrong. And when we execute the program, we'll get a different output, not the expected output. So what type of error it is? It is comes under logical errors. That means the logic is missing. For example, we want to add 10 plus 20, that is 30. But we got the output, for example, 40 is there, or some other output we have got. So what we can assume is that, okay, some error is there in the expression. We forgot to place some operators, wrong operator. We have placed some wrong operators, logical operator. Logic is wrong, right? That is about the logical error. The first one is the compile time error and logical error. So what is the idea for runtime error? The best example is that, for example, when we write a program and when we compile it, no errors were there. No errors were there. After the compilation, we try to execute the program. When we try to execute the program, we are unable to see the result also. We are unable to get the result also. We are unable to get the output. So in that case, what we can assume? Okay, what we think is that, okay, there were no errors, there were no compile time errors, and there were no logical errors also. The program got successfully compiled, and we are unable to get the error, unable to get the result. So this situation we can consider as a runtime error. The best example, and we do not know that one what type of error is occurred. Whatever the screen is there, that automatically closed when we execute the program. The best case for this problem is, okay, when we write an expression, for example, when we write an expression that is A equal to B by C. Okay, B have some values there, but C values 0 is there, and it is called divide by 0. The best example for exception handling, we used to give the divide by 0, right? So what is that output we'll get? Can anyone answer? Divide by 0. When we try to divide the number, a particular number, any number with a 0, what is that output we'll get at the time of execution? Either in C program or Python or Java, whatever it may be. Can anyone answer? A simple expression we have written, that is A equal to some 5 by 0 is there. A is assigned with 5 by 0, 5 divided by 0. And we try to print the value of A equal to B by C, where B equal to 10 and C equal to 0. That is A equal to some 5 by 0 or 10 by 0 is there. And we try to print the value of that A. What is the output we'll get? Can anyone answer? 5 by 0 or 10 by 0, any number divided by 0. Swarup?
Yes, sir.
What is the answer? Sham is there, Sai Praveen, Naveen, Subhash, Sudhir, Rashmita, and some numbers are there. Tejasri, Gangadri, Varsha, Satya Durga. What is that output we'll get? When we divide a number by 0, the most famous example when we talk about exception handling mechanism. The best example to understand exception handling mechanism is the divide by 0 is there. When we try to divide a number by 0, can anyone answer? You can type also. No answer? Okay, it is called divide by 0. Simple. In a C program, when we write an expression, okay, that is, for example, a equal to some 5 by 0, 5 divided by 0 is there. We won't get the output. The screen also automatically closed. We don't know, we'll be confused. Why? Even though when we compile the program, the program has no errors. And when we try to execute the program, we are unable to get the output also. Okay, in this case, some exceptional error is occurred. We can assume exceptional occur is occurred. Okay. So this is the best example for runtime error. Okay, all of you note down errors in Python program. In general, we can classify errors in a program into the following 3 types: compile time error, runtime error, and logical error. And when it comes to compile time error, okay, these are the syntactical errors found in the code. These are the syntactical errors found in the code due to which a program fails to compile. For example, forgetting a colon in the statement, in the statements like if statement, while statement, for loop, definition, all those things will result in a compile time error. Such errors are detected by Python compiler, and the line number along with the error description is displayed by the compiler. When we forgot to place the colon or semicolon or whatever it may be, or full stop or dot is there, all those comes under compile time error. Okay, just note down the program. A Python program to understand the compile time error. Example for compile time error: x is initialized with the variable x is initialized with 1, and the next statement, if x equal to 1, and printf statement is there. Where is the column? Just printing our own message, because we know that one we forgot to place the colon at the end of if statement. Just note down the compile side heading, put side heading compile time error. In this, you write this statement. These are the syntactical errors found in the code due to which a program fails to compile. For example, forgetting a colon in the statements like if statement, while statement, for definition, defining a function, etc. Example, just x is initialized with 1, and the next statement is if x equal to 1, and here we forgot to place the column at the end of if statement and printf statements. And when we compile the program, we'll get this error: Python example.py file expy, that is line 3, if x equal to 1, it is showing at this point. Syntax error, that is invalid syntax. The type is, error type is invalid syntax. Syntax error, invalid syntax. Completed? Just one line program, 2-line program. Example for compile time error. X equal to 1. Then if x equal to 1, here we forgot to place the colon at the end of if statement. And when we compile and execute the program, this is the output we'll get, error will get, syntax error, colon, invalid syntax at this line 3, line number 3. That is, we forgot to place the colon at the end of if statement. What happened? Someone is drawing a okay, I'm moving. For example, see the another example, a Python program to demonstrate compile time error. X is initialized with 10, the value 10 is initialized to x, the variable x. If x percentage 2 equal to 0 colon, printf Kiran, print x which is divisible by 2, print x is in even number. Okay, just note down the code, another example, sample code. Just initialize the variable with 10 and some expression, x percentage 2 equal to 0, that is remainder. When we divide the x with 2 and whatever the remainder we'll get, if it is equal to 0, then print the statement, print x which is divisible by 2. Someone is drawing a line. Okay, next move to the runtime error. All of you put heading runtime error. When what happened? When PVM, Python virtual machine, cannot execute the byte code. Okay, the byte code will be generated. When we compile a Python program, then the byte code will be generated. To execute that byte code, we need a Python virtual machine, PVM. When PVM cannot execute the byte code, it flags runtime error, right? For example, insufficient memory to store something or inability of the PVM to execute some statement come under runtime error. And remember, runtime errors are not detected by the Python compiler. They are detected by the Python virtual machine only at runtime.
DIPLOMA tadi.
What happened?
Enter first year.
Someone is talking. Who is drawing that line? Huh? 2, 3. Some hall ticket number is coming, right? Okay, don't draw. Do not draw a line. Just note down the program, sample program, example. A Python program to understand runtime errors. Example for runtime. Define a function, define concat a comma b, 2 parameters. Then print a plus b. Then call concat and pass the argument. Concat and 2 parameters are, the first parameter is the string hi. The second parameter is the number integer 25. So what is that error? will get from this program? Can anyone answer? Just concatenating two strings, right? A and B, A plus B, concatenation of A, B. And while passing parameters, we are trying to pass one is string, the other one is integer, not that both of them are string. Both the parameters are not string. One parameter is string, the other parameter is integer. Two different types. What type of error will get?
A value.
Can anyone answer? Do we need to provide two strings or only one string is there? Enough.
A value is error.
Here, A value is high.
High.
Okay, high is
High.
passed to A, 25 is passed to B. But what we are expecting?
Integer value.
We are expecting two
Addition
strings,
of
not
A.
a single string,
Two additional.
right?
Two additional is
We
high
must
is
provide
error.
two strings. Okay, we must not provide
High
the
is error.
integer value 25. With this 25, we'll get the runtime error, right?
Yes, sir.
Just
High
note on the
is error.
program. Program note just define concat
No, sir.
with two
No, sir,
parameters
no,
A
sir.
comma B. Just only one expression is there, print A plus B. Then call the concat function and pass the argument. Concat function with two parameters, high and 25. The first parameter is string, the second parameter is integer, but we are expecting the parameters, both the parameters must be string. But we have provided integer, that's why we'll get a runtime error. Just see, check the output, see the output. Trace back most recent call loss file with the line number 6. High concat high and 25, and line number 3 concat print A plus B. Here, what is the type of which message we have got? Error message, type error. We cannot convert an integer object to string implicitly. This here we have got the message. The second parameter is integer, and the runtime system is saying that okay, we can't convert. We cannot convert integer object into string implicitly by the runtime system. All of you note down this output also. Type error colon cannot convert integer object to string implicitly. And okay, we'll see the second example. All of you note on the second example, a Python program to demonstrate runtime error. We have created a list with animals. How many elements are there? 4 elements are there. That is dog, cat, horse. The first element is dog, second cat, horse, then fourth one is the donkey. And we try to print animal of 4, the fourth element, fourth index element. But the index always starts with 0, right? Dog is stored at index 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. The maximum index is 3. But we are trying to print the value of the fourth index. The fourth index is not available in the list. Okay, note down the example. Just simple create a simple list and print the non-available element, unavailable element. Print animal of 4. That index value 4. But we have only indexes from 0. Dog is at index 0, cat with index 1, horse with index 2, and the donkey is index with 3. There is no fourth index. Okay, and when we try to execute the program, we'll get the runtime error. That is, the error type is index error and list index out of range. The maximum range is 3, but we try to access the fourth index, that is out of range. We have the ranges from 0 to 3 only, 0, 1, 2, 3. But we try to access the fourth index. The fourth index is not available. That's why we have got an exception. It is exception type is index error. That is list index out of range error, runtime error. And in case of running time error, the virtual machine displays the line number where that runtime error is occurred, line number and the type of error also, line number and type of error also. Most of the runtime errors can be eliminated by following the message given by Python virtual machine. For example, in the previous program, restricting the list index below 4 is the solution to eliminate the runtime error. Right? The index is 0. The starting one is 0. The maximum is 3. But we have used 4. That's why we have got the index out of range exception. Note cheskunara? Can anyone respond?
Yes,
Second
sir.
example,
Yes, sir.
runtime error.
Yes, sir.
Ah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so what is the best example for runtime error? Best expression?
A
మీరు
plus
జావాలో కూడా నేర్చుకున్నారు కదా
third,
ఏంటది?
third example, sir.
Runtime error కి బెస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటి? డివైడ్ బై 0 గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. సరేనా?
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు మనం మ్యాథమెటిక్స్ లో ఇఫ్ సమ్ నంబర్ ఇస్ డివైడెడ్ బై 0 మనం ఇన్ఫినిటీ అంటాం కదా. ఇన్ఫినిటీయా?
Yes, sir.
సమ్ 1/0 2/0 ఎంత వస్తుంది వాల్యూ? ఇన్ఫినిటీయా? మ్యాథమెటిక్స్.
Okay.
ఇన్ఫినిటీ అనేది మన ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ లో సపోర్ట్ చేయరు కదా.
No, sir.
Yes, that's why
No,
we
sir.
get the runtime error. Right. Next, third one, logical error. Just side heading, put side heading, logical errors. These errors depict flaws in the logic of the program. Just note down this line, one line. These errors depict flaws in the logic of the program. The programmer might be using a wrong formula, or the design of the program itself is wrong. And logical errors are not detected by either by the Python compiler or virtual machine. The programmer is solely responsible for them. Only the programmer knows why we are unable to get the output. The programmer has to think why we are unable to get the correct output, expected output. Logical error. Not just Nara. These errors depict flaws in logic of the program.
No, sir. What's the one minute?
Just note on this example. A Python program to increment the salary of an employee by 15%. Just equation wrong undante. That's why we have got the wrong value. Define increment function with the parameter salary, where salary equal to salary into 15 divided by 100. Right? Actual equation ఏంటి? ఇది మనం రాసింది. Okay, that is salary equal to salary into 15 divided by 100. Correct formula ఏంటది? Correct formula వచ్చేసి salary equal to salary plus salary into 15 by 100. 15 divided by 100. This is the wrong formula. This is the correct formula. Second. Okay, just note down the example. A Python program to increment the salary of an employee by 15%. Logical error. Define increment function with salary parameter. Salary equal to salary into 15 divided by 100. And return statement is a return salary. Then call increment. Salary equal to increment of 5,000 and printf the salary value. Whatever the value we have get, that is 750 is there, it is wrong because of this wrong equation. What is that wrong equation? salary is equal to salary into 15 divided by 100. The correct formula is that salary equal to salary plus salary into 15 divided by 100. You can use brackets also. Okay, finally, we can say compile time error and logical errors can be eliminated by the programmer by modifying the program source code. In case of runtime errors, when the programmer knows which type of error occurs, the programmer can handle them using exception handling mechanism. The runtime errors which can be handled by programmer are called exceptions. All of you note down this point. The runtime errors which can be handled by the programmer are called exceptions. Okay, we'll discuss about built-in exceptions. Put heading exception. An exception is a runtime error which can be handled by the programmer. That means if the programmer can guess an error in the program and the programmer can do something to eliminate the harm caused by that error, then it is called an exception. If the programmer cannot do anything in case of an error, then it is called an error. That is not an exception. And all exceptions are represented as classes in Python. So whatever the exceptions are there in Python language, all of them are treated as classes in Python. And all of them are built-in exceptions only provided by the Python programming language. All are treated as classes in Python, right? Remember this one, all exceptions are represented in all exceptions are represented as classes in Python. An exception is a runtime error which can be handled by the programmer. Okay, put side heading exceptions and note on this point. An exception is a runtime error which can be handled by the programmer. And very important thing is that all exceptions are represented as classes in Python programming language. All are built-in exceptions only. And the base class for all built-in exceptions is, its name is base exception class. The super class, we can treat it as super class. The super class for exceptions is that its name is base exception, B capital letter and exception E capital letter without space, base exception class. It is a super class or the main class for exception handling mechanism, the starting point of exception handling mechanism. Note చేసుకుంటున్నారా?
Yes, sir.
Note
Yes,
just
sir.
note down the definitions. For class lo ఎలా note
Yes, sir.
చేసుకున్న definition, syntax
Note this
and
one.
example or sample program.
Yes, sir.
An exception is a runtime error which can be handled by the programmer, and all exceptions are represented as classes. Underline this one, classes. What are the built-in exceptions are there in Python? All of them are treated as classes. Okay, so many classes will be there. Out of many classes, we have the base class will be there, and we treat it as super class. The super class name is base exception class. Its name is base, B capital letter, E capital letter without space. Base exception class. The super class for exception. Note on this point, all exceptions are represented as classes in Python. Next one, the base class for all built-in exceptions is base class, base exception class. Okay, all of you note on this diagram hierarchy, exception hierarchy, very important. For Java also, we have the same structure.
Yes, sir.
Note on the diagram.
Okay, sir.
This is exception hierarchy. The highest level we have the base exception. The main class, super class is base exception. Under that we have exception class. In this exception, two categories are there: standard error and warning is there. Base exception. Under this base exception class, we have exception class. Under the exception class, we have two subclasses are there: standard error class, warning class. Very important act. This is the complete exception hierarchy for exception handling mechanism. Standard error. Under this standard error, we have arithmetic error, assertion error, syntax error, type error. Write as it is. The first letter of the word is capital letter, and the next word letter is starting letter is capital letter. Arithmetic A capital, E capital, error E capital. Assertion error, A capital letter, E capital, without spaces. Arithmetic error, assertion error, syntax error, type error, EOF, end of file. EOF is related to files concepts. When we reach the end of file, or when we search for end of file, whether we have reached the end of file or not. End of file. EOF error, runtime error, import error. When we try to import a particular file or package, and that file or package is not available, in that case, we'll get import error exception. Name error. All these are the subclasses under standard error class. On top of standard error and warning, we have exception is there. Exception class. On top of that one, that is highest level, superclass of all exception handling mechanism, that is base exception.
That's
So
protein.
the superclass is
So-
base exception. Under this superclass, subclass, exception is there. Again, under this exception class, we have standard error and warning is there. Standard error class, warning class. Under this standard error class, we have subclasses of arithmetic error, assertion error, syntax error, type error, end of file error, runtime error class, import error class, name
error.
name error class. And the other side, warning class, we have three types of warning classes are there: deprecation warning, runtime warning class, import warning class. These three subclasses under warning class. Deprecation warning, runtime warning, and import warning. So what is the difference between standard error exception and warning exception is there? If standard error exception occurs, we need to correct it. We need to correct regarding all these things. Whatever the type of exception is there, that exception must be rectified and that must be corrected. But when it comes to warning exception class, we have three categories are there: duplication, runtime, and import warning. Okay. Without correcting these warning exceptions also, the program will be executed. It is just gives a warning message related to warning related ఉంది కదా ఏదైనా ఎక్సెప్షన్స్ రిలేటెడ్ వార్నింగ్స్ అనుకోండి, ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది, no problem, it will give just warning. But when it comes to standard error, those exceptions must be rectified and corrected. Without correction, the program will not be executed for standard error. But when it comes to warning, okay, the program will be executed, but it will give the warning message. This is the main diagram of exception handling mechanism in Python. That is base exception. Under that base exception, under exception we have standard error and warning. Two subcategories are important exception classes in Python. The diagram name, figure name is. Finish?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Put heading or side heading exception handling. The purpose of handling errors is to make the program robust. That means strong. A robust program does not terminate in the middle. And also, when there is an error in the program, it will display an appropriate message to the user. The purpose of handling errors is to make the program robust. That means the program must be strong. If any errors are there, all those errors must be rectified and corrected by the developer only. This is the procedure how to handle the exception handling mechanism. So what are the keywords we have in Java programming language? Can anyone respond? Java programming language. Exception handling mechanism in Java programming language.
Try, catch.
5 keywords are there, right? Total?
Yes, sir.
Try, catch, throw,
Throwable.
throws, finally. Correct? Yes?
Yes, sir.
5 keywords are there related to exception handling mechanism. That is try, catch, throw, throws, finally. Right? Try, catch, and try block. What are the statements we write? Okay. Try. What is the purpose of try block? Whatever the expressions are there, whatever the statements are there, calculations are there. Okay. All those statements must be put inside the try block where there is a possibility of exception. Right? And catch means catching a particular type of exception. Throws, throw it to the superclass, the upper class or superclass. And finally is there. What is the purpose of finally? Even though whatever happens, for example, some exception is handled, exception is occurred, in that case also, finally, that message will be printed. Finally, try, catch, throws, finally. Right? Just put on the statement to handle exception. This is the procedure to To handle exceptions, the programmer should perform the following 3 steps. Step 1, note on the step 1. The programmer should observe the statements in his program where there may be a possibility of exception. Such statements should be written inside a try block, same as Java programming language, right? Try block is there, try colon and statements. Write the statement, statement 1, 2, 3, 4. So wherever there is a possibility of exception or error or exception, you put all those statements in a try block, try colon statements. Then step 2, the programmer should write the except block. The programmer should write the except block where the programmer should display the exception details to the user. What is the type of exception? Except keyword, except space, exception name, name of the exception, and some statements. Try block, try colon statement. Second step is that except block. That is syntax is except space, except exception name, colon, and some statements. And step 3, the programmer should perform cleanup actions like closing a file or terminating any other processes. So write this code in finally block. Finally block is look like as finally colon statement. Except try block, try colon statements, except exception name colon statements, and finally colon statements. 3 steps, we must follow 3 steps when it comes to exception handling mechanism to handle the exception. Try block, except block, and finally block. Okay, all of you note down this program. A Python program to handle the zero division error exception. All of you note down the program, a Python program to handle zero divide. In other way, we can say that divide by zero error in some other language. Handle the zero division error exception. Try block, where there is a possibility of exception. Put all those statements inside the try block. Try block, except block, and finally block. 3 blocks will be there. You must have 3 blocks. Try colon f equal to open my file. Okay, this program is related to files also, files concepts. Open the file, which its name is my file, and the mode, it is called, the second parameter is called mode, write mode. We want to write the contents in a file, write mode. Open the file, open my file in a write mode, writing mode. A comma B equal to int x for x in input, enter 2 numbers. And simple calculation, C equal to A divided by B, and write the information. F dot write, writing percentage D into my file C. Is starting Rasera. Try block, F equal to open A comma B. Then we have statement, C equal to A divided by B. F dot write, writing that number into file, and except block. Try block, the first one is try block. Second one is except block. What type of error it is? The possibility of error, exception. Except, and its exception name, zero division error. And in that just print the message, print division by 0 happened. Please do not enter. Okay, the message from developer side, please do not enter 0 in the input as a denominator action. Final block. Final block, just what are the operations are there? The closing operations, we perform those operations. F dot close and print file closed. And note down the output also. Enter two numbers 10 and 2, file closed. Enter two number 10 0. Okay, we are trying to divide the 10 with 0, 10 divided by 0. Then we'll get division by 0 exception. Division by 0 is happen. Please do not enter 0 in the input. And finally, the final block is executed. That is only one message is that file closed. File is closed. Note cheskunnara?
No, sir.
Try block. 4 statements are there. Next, except block. Except block lo the type of exception. Adena mana class lo 0 division error. And some statements. Then final block. Finally block. Try block, except block, finally block.
Yes.
And output also. Note on the output. 2 times executed. In first attempt, we gave 2 numbers. That is 10 and 2. No problem. In the second time, second execution, we gave 10 and 0. 10 is divided by 0. Definitely we'll get division by 0 exception. Okay, all of you note down this full syntax also, the complete syntax. However, the complete exception handling syntax will be in the following format. Note down the syntax. Try block, statements, except exception 1 colon handler, except exception 2 handler, else some statements. Then finally block. Try block, except block, finally block. Finish. This is the generalized syntax for exception handling mechanism. Try block, statements, except block, that is exception 1, handler 1, except exception 2, handler 2, else statements, then finally block with statements. And note down some points, important points regarding exception handling mechanism. A single try block can be followed by several except blocks. Okay, we can have one try block and several except blocks. Then multiple except blocks can be used to handle multiple exceptions. It is possible. We cannot write except block without a try block. That means we must have minimum one try block must be there. Without try block, there is no meaning for except block. We cannot write except blocks without a try block. We can write a try block without any except blocks. Else block and final blocks are not compulsory. And remember, the last one is that finally block is that will always be executed. Finally block will always be executed. If else block is there in the program, and when there is no exception, then the else block is executed after try block. Finish. Next one, types of exceptions. We'll see some of the built-in exceptions. There are several exceptions available as part of Python language that are called built-in exceptions. In the same way, the programmer can also create their own exceptions, which are called as user-defined exceptions. Most of them are built-in exceptions provided by the language itself. The other side is that the user can create our own exceptions also. The programmer can also create their own exceptions, which are called as user-defined exceptions. Just note down the exception class name. Exception, okay, all these are known to us. Just now we have seen in diagram. Exception, arithmetic error, assertion error, attribute error, end of file error, floating point error, generator exit, IO error, import error, index error, key error, keyboard interrupt. Note down some of the exception classes. Exception class name. Note చేసుకున్నారా? Exception, some of the exception class names and their description purpose.
Wait, sir, wait.
Exception, arithmetic error. Just description name అవసరం లేదు. Later on you can search for that. Just note on the exception class name. Exception, arithmetic error, assertion error, attribute error without spaces. The first two letters are capital letters. EOF error, floating point error. In floating point error, F capital letter, P capital letter, and E capital letter without any spaces. Floating point error, generator error exit, IO error, import error, index error, key error, keyboard interrupt, name error, not implemented error, overflow error, runtime error, stop iteration. Don't write the description. Whenever there is a name, just you can search it. You'll get the details of that error type, exception type. Syntax error, indentation error, system exit error, exit exception, type error exception, unbound local error exception, value error exception, zero division error exception. Finish?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Note down one example regarding IO error. A Python program to handle IO error produced by the open function. Just this is also example for files. Files concepts. Note on the exam. Python program to handle IO error produced by open function. Example for IO error. Accept a file name try block. Try block name equal to input, enter file name, and f equal to open, file open. To open a file, you must have the parameters, that is name of the file, and mode, file mode, we call it as mode. R for reading. Yes, we want to open a file in read mode. We can use only the reading. We cannot perform any other operations. When we have opened a file in read mode means R mode means that file can be used for reading purpose only. We cannot write the content into a file. We cannot append. We cannot modify, update a file also. Just only we can read the contents of a file. F equal to open of name of the file, and mode R for read. And exception type of except block, that is IO error. There is a possibility of IO error. That's why we have used IO error exception class. Print file not found, and the name else is there. Else part n equal to length, read lines, how many number of lines are there, and close the file, f dot close. Open function to open a file, close function to close a file. Open function, close function. Open a file, close a file. Between open a file and close a file, we can perform some operations. That means read the contents of a file, write the contents onto a file, or update the contents of a file, modify the contents of a file, or we used to say append. We use the word append. R for reading, W for writing, A for appending. And this is the output. Two times we have executed Python ex.py. Enter the file name ex.py. Just we are displaying the same file, our own file only. How many number of lines are there? Read lines. Read lines method is that which will display, which will provide the integer, how many number of lines are there in a program, in our program, this program. Our program name is, for example, ex.py. In this program ex.py, total 11 lines are there. It has displayed ex.py as 11 lines. And in the second time execution, for example, ex.py is there, enter the file name, some ABCD, we give ABCD. Actually, ABCD file is not created or not available. Then we'll get a message, file not found. And the file name is ABC. Okay, completed. Can anyone respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Okay, more details about except block. Just note down this one, heading, the except block. The except block is useful to catch an exception that is raised in the try block. Whatever the exceptions handled in try block is there, okay, we want to catch that one. For that, we need except block. The except block is useful to catch an exception that is raised in the try block. When there is an exception in the try block, then only the except block is executed. Some variations, just note down. To catch an exception which is raised in try block, this is the statement, except space exception class. when we have exception related to object is there, okay, we must use this syntax, except we can catch the exception as an object. This is the statement syntax, except exception class as obj. The third one, to catch multiple exceptions, we can write multiple catch blocks. That is, except in bracket exception class 1, exception class 2, exception class 3, ... Okay, this is about except block. How many variations are there? Except of exception class, except of exception class as an object, and multiple exceptions are there. Multiple catch blocks. And next one, next put heading, the assert statement. The assertion, assert statement. The assert statement, right down in this exception handling mechanism. The assert statement is useful to ensure that a given condition is true for ensuring purpose. The assert statement is useful to ensure that a given condition is true. If it is not true, it will raise an assertion error. Use single quote for assertion error. The syntax is that assert space condition comma message. Okay, finish. Just one is the syntax, not on the syntax. The assert statement is useful to ensure that a given condition is true. If it is not true, it raises an assertion error. Use single quote for assertion error. And the syntax is this: assert condition comma message. Just note down the example program, assertion error, regarding assertion error. Handling assertion error, try block. In that, just we want to read the value from the keyboard, x equal to integer input. Enter a number between 5 and 10. And what is that assertion statement? Assertion x is greater than or equal to 5 and x is less than or equal to 10. That means whatever the number we must provide from the keyboard is there, that must be between 5 and 10. If less than 5 is provided, we'll get the error. If greater than 10 is provided, input number is provided, then we'll get exception error. Assert x greater than or equal to 5 and x less than or equal to 10. Print the number entered. Whatever the number entered, that will be printed. Except block, try block, except block, except assertion error, and some message. We want to print some message. The condition is not fulfilled. Okay, when we execute the program, enter a number between 5 and 10, but we have entered 12. That is less than 5, greater than 10. This condition is true. We must provide between 5 and 10, 5 to 10, but we have provided 12. That's why assertion error is raised. The condition is false means wait. The condition is not fulfilled. Next one, logging the exceptions. Next heading, logging the exceptions. So what is the idea of exception, logging the exceptions? Logging log files are there in our systems or laptops, operating systems. Whenever an error occurs or exception occurs, all the problematic areas, all the errors, exceptions, information will be stored in a log file. We used to say that log file. Log file will be created. In that log file, all the details about errors, exceptions will be stored in an operating system. Hello, Swarup? Swarup, ఉన్నవా? Hello, Swarup? Are you there? Sudhir, Subhash,
హలో సార్
Swarup, ఉన్నవా?
హలో సార్
Swarup? Swarup
Hello,
is
sir.
there? Ah. Okay, just I am stopping the session.
ఓకే సార్
అదే ఫ్యాకల్టీ లంచ్ వెళ్తున్నా మళ్ళీ కరెక్ట్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్
అదే
1:30
నేను-
రండి అందరూ.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
లేట్ చేయకండి, సరేనా?
ఓకే
Sure,
సార్
sir.
ఓకే సార్
మేడం కూడా చెప్పండి ఒకసారి, లేట్ చేయకండి.
ఓకే సార్
ఓకే
సరే,
సార్ ఓకే సార్
1:30కి.
Okay,
వస్తారు
sir.
ఓకే
ఓకే సార్ అందులో వస్తాను సార్
ఓకే.
హలో ఏయ్